Hello, it's Lynn again here, and when I was with you before, we talked about compassion, about giving compassion, and about receiving compassion. Now today I want to show you a few things that you might want to consider doing that show compassion. And I've got several different options for you, and I've also got options for those who are able to write on their own or with a little help from their parents or an older sibling. And I've got options for those who are not yet writing, things that we can do to make people's lives better, make them feel better. The first thing that I want to suggest is something that probably all of you have done, and you didn't realize how easy it would be to do this to show compassion to somebody. I'll bet a lot of you have chalk, and I'll bet a lot of you have sidewalk chalk. So one thing that we can do is chalk your walk. Now, first of all, let's understand that we're doing our own walk. We're not doing somebody else's unless they specifically ask us to do it. So if you want to do your driveway or your front walk, you can write messages of encouragement to folks. I don't know if you have great things that you know of that you can write down that are going to make people feel good or brighten their day. Some that come to mind with me that I've read in different places. One is, tough times never last, but tough people do. Okay, another one you might write is, we're all in this together. When we're thinking about the COVID virus and what we're all going through, if you just put, we're all in this together, and you can draw flowers or butterflies or balloons or whatever, anything to brighten somebody's day. Another is, and I really like this one, it's a little longer, but the more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. And that is very true. Now, are there other ways that we can do things besides chalking our walk? Well, sure. Another idea is, if you have any poster board or just plain white paper, you can make signs and attach them to your front door. You can use tape if that's okay with mom and dad, or you can use, I've got some mounting putty, which you just take a little piece of this off. I know most of you have probably seen that in school or preschool, and put it on the back of your paper or poster board or whatever that you're using, and attach it to your front door. And you think, well, why do I want to put something on my front door? Well, people come to your front door. The mailman, the delivery person, if you've ordered food out, the person who is bringing you your dinner. If somebody comes to give you a message or ask if you can come out, if it's somebody that your parents are allowing you to play with during this time, then this is something that they all will see and know that you have a caring heart and that you just want to offer them what it takes to brighten their day. So I've made a few of these signs, and we don't have time to make them all together, but I just wanted to give you some ideas. First of all, I have these. They're called do-a-dot art. I've got 6 of them in different colors, and you shake them up and you turn them upside down and press on them, and it makes a dot, a big dot, about the size of the bottom of this container. Now, you can use that dot just to go all over the place and decorate, or you can use it as a flower. You can use it as lots of things. In fact, I made one using crayons. I used the dot makers. I used crayons, and I used permanent markers. Now, that's something you need to check with your parents about too, if they want you to use permanent markers. I also have washable markers, and that's probably something they would prefer that you use. Now, here is one that I made, and it says, "Bloom where you are planted." Now, what does that mean? How is that going to lift somebody up, other than the fact that it has a pretty picture on it? Well, it means wherever you land, wherever you are, make that a special place and smile and be happy there. Bloom where you are planted. Okay? Now, this is just a suggestion of something you can use, and you could put anything that you want on it. I just chose flowers because it said bloom. Okay. Now, here is another one that I made with a saying on it that I really like. It says, "Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud." Okay, what does that mean? Well, we think of things being cloudy or times being cloudy when people are sad, right? Okay, so what do we think about rainbows? Do they make us happy? Yep, we usually smile when we see a rainbow. So it helps if you try to be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud. Okay? And these are just suggestions of things you can put on there. And again, I am not an artist. So I have some stencils that I used. So feel free to use stencils, use stickers, use crayons, use markers, anything. Here's another one. Okay, this one I didn't color the fish because you can color and decorate this fish any way you want to. You can make this a colorful fish, you can make it a plain fish, okay? But the message is just keep swimming. And does anybody have any idea who said that? Well, it was Dory, the fish, in Nemo. Okay, well good, you remembered that. But just keep swimming means even when things are tough, just keep going. Don't quit, don't give up. Keep swimming. All right, and if you are not a writer yet, here are just, you can make a poster or a piece of paper with any of a combination of things on it. On mine, I've put hearts and stars and flowers and balloons, and then I've put some stickers on there. Anything you want to that would make somebody smile when they saw it. All right, and here's the last thing I'd like to share with you. This is something that my own granddaughter did for my husband and myself. And she wrote us a letter on construction paper, and it says, "Dear Gran and Granddaddy, I just want to let you know that I want you to stay healthy. I love you and I miss you so very much and hope to see you soon. Hugs and kisses, Claire." And then at the bottom, she put some riddles for us. And then she put the answers to the riddles on the back. which is a very clever idea. It gives your grandparents something to read. It lets them know how much you care about them. And it makes you feel good to do this too. And it's something that your grandparents will keep. They will treasure it. I know I've had this one for, at least 3 months. And it stays on my refrigerator to remind me every day that I have grandchildren that care about me. So you see, there are lots of different things that you can do. You can pick, it doesn't have to be grandparents that you write to. You can pick special people that you know, somebody from your church or somebody in your neighborhood, anybody that you think might benefit from hearing from you, hearing some uplifting words. And it's always a gift when you're doing this for other people. And it's a gift that, as they say, keeps on giving. People don't forget it. They smile. It makes them smile. So you try to concentrate on making somebody smile, and you'll find that it not only makes them smile, but it does the same for you. Thank y'all for being with us today, and I hope we'll see you back for the next lesson. Bye.
Well, welcome back, guys. I hope that you have enjoyed some of Miss Lynn's ideas about how we can show compassion to people along the way by putting some encouraging signs in our yard or on our doors for those people that come by our house, like the mailman and different people that would see them, or even doing sidewalk chalk on the sidewalk. I think those are some great ideas for ways that we can show compassion to other people along the way. I want to do a little compassion exercise with you. And if you go on the website, there will be a coloring sheet that you can download and color. And this goes along with the story I'm going to tell you. And so as you listen to this story with the coloring sheet, I want you to draw yourself in different places along the story, okay? And then when you're done with it and you're done with the story, I want you to take a picture of it. And I want you to post it on the Facebook page in the comments, because I want to see how you drew yourself in the story. But I'm going to read the story to you, and you can draw pictures to show how you can show compassion in each of these situations in the story, okay? So imagine yourself being the one who is telling this story as I tell it, okay? So, I had a long day today. Remember, this is you talking in the story. I was eating breakfast this morning. And at the breakfast table, when my dad came in and said that we had to be leaving in 15 minutes to run some errands, I didn't want to go. I wanted to sit at the table and finish my cereal and play with my pet lizard, Vanessa. I felt frustrated. But I got in the car with my dad, and we made our first stop at the grocery store to pick up some toilet paper, another box of my favorite cereal, and coffee for Dad. I asked for an apple, and my dad said yes. Then we put our groceries in the car and headed to the post office. Sometimes the post office is fun because I get to pick out the stamps. But today there was a long line, and I didn't want to be there. My dad said it was important. He held 2 boxes in an envelope while we waited in line. I felt compassion for him, so I offered to hold something. He gave me the smaller box and said thank you. Then we had to go to the dentist. My dad needed a cleaning, so I had to sit next to him and wait. I read a magazine about lizards and ate my apple. The dentist said apples are good for your teeth. Finally, my dad said, "Thank you for being present with me today. I have a question. Where would you like to go? I was excited because I knew exactly where I wanted to go. There's a park near my house that has an excellent climbing tree. Dad took me to the park so I could climb the tree and play for a while. He even climbed up the tree with me, and we played all day long. It was a long day, but I'm glad we spent it together. The end. So I would love to see what you drew. But more than that, I want to know what your answers are to some of these questions in this story. What did you notice about the story? What details did you hear that you put in your picture as you were listening to my story? What were the most interesting parts? Did you get tired of listening to the story? Did it help you to draw out the details while you listened? If I tested your memory, would you be able to answer questions? When we listen carefully, we can remember details and make connections. I have one more question though. Who was being present in the story? The dad, or the child, or both? And why? So these are all questions that you can ask around the dinner table as you share the story and the picture with your family. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the little story today, and I can't wait to see all your pictures of the story. Well, I'm gonna turn it over to Kara, and we're gonna do our song for the week one more time.
Face to face or far away, God is present among us. Listen to the Spirit say, I am here with you. Face to face or far away, God is present among us. Listen to your family say, I am here with you. As close as your breath, your beating heart, I am here with you. As far as you go, no matter the time, I am here with you. Face to face or far away, God is present among us. Listen to your community say, I am here with you. Face to face or far away, God is present among us. Listen to your neighbor say, I am here with you. As close as your breath, your beating heart, I am here with you. As far as you go, no matter the time, I am here with you. As far as you go, no matter the time, I am here with you.
In our story this week, we learned about three ladies who were present with each other in very difficult times. We learned about Ruth and Orpah and Naomi. And they had all sadly had their husbands die. And they all had to figure out ways to show compassion to each other and compassion to themselves. And so they had to figure out how to deal with their grief and their sadness. And so Naomi showed compassion to her daughters to her daughters-in-law by giving them the choice. You can come with me, or you can go home to be with your families. And Orpah showed compassion by deciding to go home to help her family back home, who were struggling with a famine that was in the land that was hurting the people. But Ruth showed compassion by going with Naomi to help her as she went back to her home, to help her find ways to be able to provide and to provide food and to provide a home for herself. They all had to make very hard choices, and they all supported each other in those hard choices. And they all listened to each other, and they all sat with each other, and they were all showing compassion to one another, and they were all present with each other. So I hope that you enjoyed this week of Compassion Camp. I hope that you learned a little bit about what it's like to be present with people, whether they're people that live next door or whether they're people that live on the other side of the world. I want to close by telling you a little story about showing compassion to people even when you're not close, because right now we're in this place where we can't always be close to the people that we love, because we're in this thing called a pandemic, and we're doing this thing where we have to be apart from each other to keep each other safe, keep each other from being sick. Well, when my family and I, when we were in divinity school, we had to be apart from our very best friends for a very different reason, but we had to be really far apart. We weren't just apart where we were in our house and they were in their house down the road, and we had to be apart just to keep from being sick. We were apart because we were in divinity school in North Carolina, and they were on the mission field in Mali, West Africa. That is way, 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 way far away. Well, one of the things that we would do a lot, sometimes we would Skype with each other so that we could really listen and hear some of the things that they were going through. We would write letters to each other. One of the things that they did is they had a website where they had a blog, and they would share some of the things that they experienced with each other, and they would share some of the things that they needed or wanted or missed, so that instead of just sending a box of things that we thought we might want if we were in Africa, we could send a care package of a box of things that we knew that they wanted. One thing that I learned a long time ago, not that long ago, a few years ago, from one of my supervisors when I was a chaplain, is that instead of treating people the way that we think that we would want to be treated, one of the best things is to treat them the way that they tell us that they want to be treated. So if I were lonely on the mission field in Africa, and what I most want would be, I don't know, maybe what I most miss is Coca-Cola. Well, maybe that's what I would most miss. But you know what? My best friends, what they most missed was Dr. Pepper. So if I sent them Coca-Cola, they wouldn't have cared. So guess what I sent them? Dr. Pepper. So listen to those people around us. That's the best way to show them compassion. And show them, do for them what they need. Help them figure out what they need, not what we think they need. That's how we show compassion. So let's close with our compassion prayer. One hand on our head and one hand on our heart. Loving Spirit, you are active and alive, always moving and stirring within and around us. Please be an encouraging wind at our backs, giving us open minds and soft hearts to follow where you lead. Make us flexible and present in each moment, that we might embrace compassion by letting go of what we expected. Amen. All right, guys, I look forward to next week. Next week is our last week of Compassion Camp, and next week's craft is going to be fun. I promise. My husband's doing it. All right, bye-bye, guys. Oh, and don't forget, you have your coloring sheet of the prayer for this week. So color it, take pictures, post them on Facebook for me. All right, bye, guys.